Gonna do a song review on J.R. Ryder's one of his tracks off Ryder Block 6 was supposed to drop. I think the original date was the 14th or the 15th. It was Monday, if I'm correct. So I think the 14th or something like that, 15th. But it got pushed back, and now it's supposed to drop tomorrow, the 18th at 9 a.m. Now, we all know that this nigga, if you watch Hot 97, is going through some legal troubles or something like that where he's going away tomorrow. And maybe they putting a mixtape out because of that. Because I've never heard of a mixtape taking this long to get, you know what I mean, put out. As far as the mixing and mastering, and he wasn't even finishing verses. I think what he said on Hot 97, he had to finish the intro or whatever, which is crazy, but that's another story, you know what I mean? So shout out to him. Hopefully it drops tomorrow, and you know what I mean? Of course, we're going to have the free J.R. Ryder shirts and hashtags and shit like that. But it sucks to know that Cameron, Jim Jones, Jewels, nobody reached out to bro to help him out in this situation. That just go to show you that loyalty is not always a good thing. And he was a day one nigga. You dig what I'm saying? But if y'all ain't heard the interview, go on Hot 97 on YouTube and check it out. But his single Fake Ones featuring, like I said, Papoose and his brother Fred Money. The beat is pretty cool. You know what I mean? It was on SoundCloud. You know, people was commenting on it saying that J.R. Ryder flow too nice to be on a song with Pap. I mean, the song wasn't nothing special, to tell you the truth. Fred Money on the hook. You got a verse from J.R. and a verse from Papoose. The song's like 2 minutes and some change. The hook is used that old school, no time for fake niggas, just sipping Cristal. You know, that I think that was either Biggie or Junior Mafia, so it kind of was inspired by that, and I think the beat kind of samples that track or whatever. I mean, it was a cool track, you know what I mean, but I'm definitely waiting to see what he gonna do with Ryder Block 6, because he already called it a classic, and we all know that the Ryder Block series is one of the best series there is. I think the last two actually was in stores and made the Billboard charts. I think it was either part 4 that made the Billboard charts or part 5, but definitely part 4 and 5 was in stores. I remember that, you know what I mean, and he got some great hits under his belt, you know what I mean. He actually said one of his hits went platinum. I forget which one it was, but I like Grill 'em, Get 'em. Bird Call was another one that was dope. He just had a lot of hits, you know what I mean, that should have been pushed, but I definitely want to see, you know what I mean, what the mixtape gonna sound like. I mean, because out of all the Ryder Blocks, my favorite would have to be, I'm going to say Ryder Block 4. To me, that just stood out a lot. You know what I mean? But his intros do be crazy and shit like that. But even him, his work ethic, he even said could have been sharper, because it's always times where like, damn, where'd J.R. Ryder at? You know what I mean? Then he come out of nowhere. So this would be his second mixtape that he dropped this year. You know, he dropped The Return to Greatness last month, and he dropped Ryder Block 6 this month. So, you know what I mean? I don't know about him saying that most artists don't drop 2 mixtapes in a year. I don't know how factual that is. I mean, I'm quite sure there's been artists that drop mixtapes, you know, a couple of them in a year. I mean, shit, Gucci Mane for one. You dig what I'm saying? So I was like, wow, when he said that, I'm like, I'm quite sure people have done, drop mixtapes in a year. But I guess he's saying back to back, like a month later. I'm not going to do the research on that. Frankly, I don't care. But like he said, it was 2 summers that he didn't put out no projects. And it's like, wow, like, I understand that he was going through his case and shit like that, but I think that would inspire some great music. I think that's what artists sometimes get fucked up, where they lose their fan base and wonder why they lose their fan base, because your fans want to know what's going on with you. And I think a realer story to me is better than a faker story. It would have been interesting to see him, you know, talk about certain situations without giving out too much information of why he been missing, because in those times that he's been gone, he could have put out a lot of work. I mean, the last official mixtape before The Return of Greatness was Still Standing 3, and that was subpar at best, you feel me? But other than that, the new track, Fake Ones, it's cool, you know what I mean? It's nothing to get really excited over. I just want to really hear the mixtape, you know what I mean? So this was like the last mixtape that was actually in stores by J.R. Ryder that I purchased. J.R. Ryder, My Past Is Your Future. It's a double disc and shit. It's pretty dope, man. Got some cool tracks on it, you know what I mean? Got him right there, and on the back. So I definitely gonna be knocking a lot of J.R. Ryder. But y'all let me know if y'all heard this song, Fake Ones, featuring Papoose and Fred Money. Let me know what y'all think. And that review will be coming soon as the mixtape drop. All right, y'all. One.